Yo, what's up, guys? We're here with week 2 of the PMC. We are facing this week the Dallas Staryu and their coach Espelancer. Very, very solid opponent. If you haven't checked out my team builder, it's in the description below. Go and check that out first before you watch the battle, because I don't want to go too much into detail about over my team. So yeah, you gotta watch that first, I guess. Dallas Staryu actually started season 01, but they are still a very scary opponent. The coach likes to bring very creative sets, and like I really thought into a lot of stuff when I team plan. I hope it worked out here. As you can see, it brings the Mew, which can always run any shenanigans. It brings the Scolipede, which is kind of threatening to my team if I get my Mandy Bus or my Rapira get weakened. He brings a Togekiss, which can also do a lot of stuff with Trick or Baton Pass or stuff like that. He brings a Kingdra, which was a pretty good call on his part. I didn't really expect it to come, but Dragon is so good versus my team, so like it makes sense for him to bring maybe a Spec set or something, or an attacker like with Dragon Pulse, Dragon Meteor, or something like that. He brings the Gliscor, which can be more creative than people think and more versatile. It's not always defensive, but definitely very solid. And he brings the Zoroark, which I will have trouble, like, probably will have trouble identifying if I like don't play around it correctly. Um, as you can see, I bring the Dugtrio, the Ditto, Choice Scarf, obviously. I bring Mandibuzz, like mixed defensive, mostly physical defense, I believe. Um, I bring the Infernape, the Thunderous, which is a substitute Nasty Plot set, and I bring Dual Dance Rapira, which I hope can tear through his team. And looking at his squad, like at +2, everything basically dies after Rock. So definitely one of my win conditions here. I think both Thunderous and the Rapira could do like a lot of good stuff. Mm. Looking at his team, I don't really expect either the new or nor the Togekiss to be a defogger, so I really don't expect him to bring one defogger at all. So I decided to lead off with my Dugtrio here to get up my rocks as quickly as possible, because I need like some chip damage on stuff like Mew if it's defensive to, or the Kingdra to kill it at +2 with the Rhyperior. So yeah, my goal basically was to lead off with Dugtrio. I really expected him to expect me to lead with Ditto, so he might lead with the Zoroark or maybe the Scolipede, which like would beat me after one speed boost if I like bring this Ditto in later. Well, like it would make sense for him to lead with the Zoroark, because a disguised Zoroark, which I didn't actually knew before the match, disguised Zoroark makes Ditto not transform itself even with Imposter. Same with a transform Mew, which could come into play later because he has a Mew and that thing learns transform. So a Ditto lead versus a Zoroark or versus Zoroark lead would be terrible for me. So I decided to lead off with my Dugtrio here. As you know, we started this season 1-0 with a 1-0 win last week, and like this is the first division game, so it's kind of important to like start strongly here, but it wouldn't be too bad if we get a loss. So let's hop right into it. I lead off with my Dugtrio, as I already said, as Espelancer is issuing the challenge here. Marcellus, my Dugtrio, is hitting the field, and I will, regardless of what he sends in turn 1, I will go for my start rock. I outspeed, so this thing here is definitely not Choice Scarf, and it goes for the Night Days, which obviously shows me that um, this thing is the Zoroark. Um, I didn't see life orb damage, and choice specs would have brought me down to my focus sash. I'm pretty sure this is a focus sash lead, but I was 100% sure, obviously. I go into my Mandibus because Zorak most of the time cannot touch this thing, and I would just go for the knockoff here, I think, on next turn. Get some lefty spec, this damage like does absolutely nothing, so I'm fine here. I go for the knockoff, doesn't do a lot. I outspeed here, and he reveals to be a counter set. Afterwards, he told me to he wanted to like counter myself on the U-turn, which would have done like 50%, and definitely he would have gotten a big hit off on me. But this counter doesn't do a lot versus me. So he U-turns out, still doesn't do a lot. As I think I go for a roost here. Maybe I should have gone for the knockoff to like knock off an item on whatever wants to come in, especially the Togekiss, which could always be like to pack some shenanigans. But I decided to roost because Mandibus is very very useful versus the Scolipede and the Kingdra. So yeah, I'm in a little bit of a predicament because I'm when he sent it out with my Mandibus, I was pretty sure that A, it was pegging definitely, but I was also pretty sure that he was going to trick me something. I really expected him to trick me um, a choice scarf, but like I didn't want to risk it. And Togekiss could pack like a lot of weird stuff, and I decided if he wants to trick me like an Iron Ball or something, which he actually does, um, Thunderous would probably be the member that can take an Iron Ball because I have he breaks a substitute and can like set up a sub still on this thing, and a choice scarf wouldn't be too bad either because then I would outspeed his entire team. But besides obviously a Jolly +1 Scolipede. So I go into my Thunderous also because I can set up subs on his air slashers unless he's modest specs or something. But he goes for the trick and tricks me an Iron Ball, which makes me weak to ground from Gliscor, but that's not too big of a deal. Um, I'm not too concerned with it. Obviously, I won't get my health back with the leftovers, and him having leftovers kind of sucks for me because, like, with Trick, he's not picking either T-Wave or Roost most of the time, and I really wanted to whittle this thing down because it can be pretty dangerous. He goes into his Zoroark here, as I set up a safe substitute because Air Slash from Togekiss doesn't break my sub. So he goes for the Night Days as I fire off just a nice Thunderbolt here to get rid of this thing, I believe. So it's not looking too bad here for me. His Zoroark is down and I don't have to like play around it once his Mew went down or something. So like I don't have to scout for this set at all anymore. Now he goes into Gliscor and to be honest, I have the HPIs, but I really during the battle I forgot that Thunderous is grounded now. And when he went for the EQ here, and oh no, he goes for the substitute on this one, but he goes for the EQ on the next turn and hits me. I was kind of surprised, but then I remember that Iron Ball makes you grounded, so that kind of sucked. He goes for the EQ, breaks my sub as I fire off on HPIs. Thunderous can live an Earthquake from that range if he's not invested at all, but like now the main thing I have to do is breaking a sub, and I can do that with the HPIs. So this Gliscor, like it gets whittled down by my um, hidden power eyes here, which is kind of nice. Obviously the poison here is very solid for him. He goes for the earthquake, and as you will see, Thunderous comes through and lifts it on 4, but um, I cannot take him out um, with the HPS, but that doesn't matter. Like even after the next poison heal, he's in range for most of my attacks, like from Rhyperior or Infernape or stuff like that. And he cannot roost up on a lot of stuff, so that's not too bad. I don't have a problem here to like trade my Thunderous for this Gliscor, essentially. So he kills me. Thunderous did its job, like got rid of the Zoroark and brought this thing in range to like be revenge killed by another mon on my side of the field. Here I decide to just go into my Infernape and basically get a kill because Mew, unless it's physically defensive, cannot take 2 Flare Blitzes. Togekiss goes down to the combination of Overheat and Flare Blitz. Kingdra goes down by 2 close combat. And Scolipede obviously doesn't enjoy switching in on a fire type attack. I contemplate going for U-turn, but it didn't make sense for him to save this thing at all because um, it doesn't beat anything on my team, basically. So I just get rid of this thing and kill it, like, which is pretty nice for me. Another mon I don't have to worry about. Now he goes into his Mew, which I again, after I saw um, the trick from the Togekiss, I didn't really expect him to be a setup Mew, but also pick a trick and trick me another random item. I wasn't sure what it was, but like I kind of gambled on it and decided it wouldn't be a choice scarf, which I would have taken here because choice scarf trick would have outsped me, and I do a hefty chunk to this Mew here, which is kind of nice for me. Um, I decide to go out into my Manibus because if it isn't another Iron Ball, I don't have a problem with it because I don't outspeed anything on the squad with the Mandibus. So that's kind of nice for me, I guess. I get the Iron Ball here as his tricking my leftovers away from me kind of works out for him, but now like the Iron Ball doesn't matter at all because like he doesn't have anything that goes for grounded attacks anymore. Here I make a misplay because like as I said earlier, I didn't really expect him to be defog Mew or defog Togekiss. I just decided to like go for the knockoff and don't have to worry about him defogging because like it wouldn't make sense to pack like Trick Defog and then only 2 attacking slots or even 1 if he packs Roost or Softball. So I decided to stay in and go for knockoff, but now that he goes for the transform, which was in the back of my head actually, he gets a chance to defog away my hazards, which kind of sucks because my Ductrio is pretty low and um, I need my hazards up to break a potential focus sash from the um, Scolipede in order for Rhyperior to sweep, obviously, because I don't pack the Rock Blast this time, I pack the Ice Punch and the Earthquake as my only attacking moves. Here he roosts up at first, knowing that I cannot knock him out at all. I just go for the, oh wait, I wouldn't mind, like, getting my Life Orb knocked off or something. I just, decided it's probably best, like, to weaken this thing and then, like, revenge kill it. But he defogs my rocks away, which kinda sucks here. Nothing I can do about it, obviously, but mm, like I might get a chance to get up rocks later, but obviously at the moment it's really sucked for me, and he did a really good job setting up his win condition here, which now in hindsight I think his win condition is the Scolipede with maybe an SD set once he got rid of my Ditto, or Scarfed. At the moment I thought it was a Scarfed Kingdra, but it was a different Kingdra set, which was his win condition. So my Infernape now is at slightly under 50%, or like 45ish. Doesn't matter at all. And he sends out his Scolipede, and I didn't really want to switch in my Mandibus, which probably would have been um, the best switch in here. But I just sacked my Infernape because, like I said, I really expected him to be a Scarf Kingdra or an Agility Kingdra, which like if I had switched in on it, it would have outsped me anyway. So I didn't really see the use for my Infernape here. Probably a bad play on my part, but nothing too important, I guess. So now, after sacking my Infernape, I go into my Mandibus and just click Knock Off again, I'm pretty sure. Um, he goes back into his Togekiss, which is solid for me because now I got rid of his leftovers and he cannot do too much for me unless, besides hitting me with the Dazzling Gleam. Here I make a pretty aggressive play because he could have T-Waved me, but like I really did expect him to go for an Air Slash to like flinch me down or to go for Dazzling Gleam. Um, he misses his Air Slash unfortunately, but doesn't matter. But now I make probably the worst play of the game. Now I saw his set here. He has the Trick, the Thunder Wave, the Dazzling Gleam, and the Air Slash. Looking at his set, the only his win condition is in the back, like it's the Kingdra or the Scolipede. And Choice Scarf Ditto beats both of them, even if it's like Choice Scarf Kingdra, I have to like I have the potential to speed tie and beat it. If it's a setup Kingdra and I lose my Ditto, I probably lose the game. And his um his T-Wave was pretty obvious. Like I was 99% sure was going for the T-Wave. But like I gambled on me having Serene Grace and flinching with the Air Slash because Scarf Togekiss actually has a very good chance of beating a squad like the Togekiss, the Kingdra, as well as the Scolipede, because I did expect Scolipede to pack the Poison Jet, just because Poison coverage isn't that good with this team. I expected like Protect, Aqua Tail, Mega Horn, and then a third move for Sword Stance. So I make a very bad plan, go for the Air Slash. Instead, I should have gone into my Dugtrio on the T-Wave, get up my rocks to break the sash from the Scolipede, and then set up with my Rhyperior on this Togekiss. But I make the misplay, go for the Air Slash, trying to get a flinch here, get some decent damage off it, looks like a 2 KO, but I don't get a flinch and I get T-Webs. Now, my win condition, which I didn't identify at that point, the Ditto, is paralyzed and cannot outspeed either the Scolipede or the Kingdra, which was a really dumb play on my part, and now like I really have to rely on his Scolipede not being focus sashed and me being able to set up on the Togekiss. Pretty dumb play on my part. I'm like I don't know why I made it, but like, I did it for some reason. Here I go for the play that I should have gone for earlier. Go into my Rapier and try to set up. His Air Slash does. I didn't expect it to to do so much, but he's probably a more like offensive variant. Looks like a 4 KO, but has a chance to maybe like 3 KO me with a crit or something. I go for the Rock Polish here, and now I'm faster than his entire team besides the Scolipede that like gets a protect off. And because like I was fearing a Scarf Kingra in the back, as I mentioned earlier, and the protect from Scolipede, I decided to go for another Rock Polish. The combination of like the Earthquake from Rhyperior and then a knockoff from Mandibuzz probably would have taken the Kingra out because I'm adamant, and if he's uninvested, that's like um, the Earthquake does like 80% to him, and then like I probably could have won in the game. But I decided to Rock Polish again just to outspeed the Scolipede and like try to beat it if it's not Sash. He goes for an Air Slash and gets a crit. So my Rhyperior is done. Now I'm in a very bad spot. I have my Dugtrio here, my Ditto, and my Mandibuzz, none of which can deal with his threats anymore. Here I go for the Stone Edge, just to make sure like this thing dies and get my differential off. And now he sends out his Kingdra, and at this point I'm pretty sure it's not a Scarf Kingdra, it is a setup Kingdra with maybe agility or Dragon Dance or something like that. Dragon Dance would have actually made very much sense versus my team because nothing on my team can really wall physical dragons, but it could also be like a Focus Energy, Scope Lance, Kingdra. Here I make a misplay in my opinion, but I kind of it was a 50-50 in my opinion because if it were um, an agility Kingdra, I lost anyway because my Ditto Land cannot deal with it and my Mandibuzz cannot deal with like Scope Lance, Focus Energy, Draco Meteors that would just sweep me. A physical Kingdra instead, but I could have beaten it if I go for Memento here. So I decided to go for a Memento instead of the Earthquake. Earthquake had a very solid chance to knock him out if he wasn't that heavily invested in HP. I don't know if that really matters, but I had a chance to 2 KO him with the Earthquake, and if he focus energy is up here at this point, Earthquake has a chance to 2 KO, and I can potentially win the game because Mandibuzz probably has had a very solid chance to beat the Scolipede one v one, especially if he misses a Mega Horn or something. So it was a 50-50 if I go for the Earthquake or for the Memento, but I make a misplay and go for the Memento here, as he reveals to be the Focus Energy set, and now it's basically GG because Focus Energy Scopeland's Kingdra just kills my squad from here on out. I don't know if I agree with his play on going for the Focus Energy because my Dugtrio had a chance to KO him, but it is what it is. Like he probably was invested enough to live 2 EQs, and even if not, it was probably in his favor to live 2 EQs from me. So I go into my Ditto, and all I can do is pray that he misses a Draco, which he does not. The Draco's me gets a crit, obviously, because of Scopeland's Focus Energy, and yeah, deals with my Ditto. Had I been not paralyzed, I would have won the game here, but nothing you can do about it. Very dumb play on my part, but it is what it is, I guess. Now I go into my Mandibuzz, and again, it's just I try to whirlwind him out here, but it doesn't matter. He hits his Draco and deals with me, so that's a 2-0 loss for us. I think I could have won the game if I made the right plays, but obviously I didn't, so this loss is entirely on me. Obviously, very good prep on Espelancer's part. Obviously, very solid game. Definitely a GG. I'm hyped to battle him for a second time later in the season because we're in the same division. But I feel like I had him like not out prep, but I feel like I could have won the game if I made didn't like didn't go for the flinch with Ditto, which was kind of greedy on my part because like I didn't realize this thing was my win condition and not the Rhyperior. Yeah, again, very dumb play on my part, but nothing I can do about it. It happened, and now we're at 1-1 with a -1 differential. Not too big of a deal, obviously, but it kind of sucks because after the battle I watched the replay and I was like, dang, you could have won that easily. Like I could have won this game probably like 2-0 or 3-0 in my favor, but obviously I did not. Next week we are facing the Shinryu Pikachus, also in our division, I believe. A very threatening team with Zardex and Azumarill and shit like that. But I'm definitely looking forward to that and obviously trying to beat 2-1 this time next week. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment and a like below. And definitely check out Espelancer and Dallas Staryu. Very, very good battler, very creative in his team preps and definitely fun to watch. Go check him out and subscribe to him. Yeah, see you next week.